Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, Call of Duty gamers. Welcome to another video here on the EGL channel. CDL Talk with Tunn once more, and this time we are talking CDL, not CDC, if you like. We are going to talk about Super Week. Now, this is something that was announced yesterday, after obviously everything going on in Texas right now is not necessarily ideal for a lot of the players, or a lot of people living there for that fact, of course. But at the same time, this has meant that everything has been shut back just a few days, and we get Super Week instead. From February the 22nd to the 20th, there's 20 games of Call of Duty to watch within those 7 days or so. So I mean, that's just fantastic news for everybody who wants to hang out on a night time, and for the most part they're at okay times, it has to be said. I mean, 11 p.m. some of them are kicking off, which is not ideal, but you know, most of them 8 p.m. 9:30 p.m. so everybody, especially in Europe and of course America, will be able to watch at a very decent time, and it's all going to be going on all week. Also, Hat is very much back in situ at this point. It's just come down to the point of lockdown haircuts getting in the way a little bit now. It was kind of a bit weird because I actually found myself with, like, I think it was okay, it was looking okay, and then all of a sudden, wham, it came in and I look homeless. So the Hat is here in situ for quite some time at this point until we come out of lockdown. Anyway, besides the point, let's talk through these games and what we think of these teams. Kicking off with LA Guerrillas against Florida Mutineers. Now, last week, obviously, just to remind ourselves, it was LA Guerrillas 1-1, and of course, on the other side of things, the Mutineers went 0-1. The Guerrillas actually going up against FaZe and Paris, losing to FaZe 3-0 and beating Paris 3-2. Just to remind ourselves on that one, Florida Mutineers did indeed go up against Toronto Ultra and lose that one 3-1. I think, you know, looking at this one, it's probably fair to lean Guerrillas' way, just based on what we've seen a little bit more from them. We didn't see a great deal from the Mutineers. I think they will get better as time goes on. I think Neptune in that squad as well, you know, things will start to make a little bit more sense for them as time does go on. In this one, though, I am going to go for the Guerrillas. Got plenty of experience on that side, and we will actually be going through my pick'ems on the EGL TikTok every single day, so if you do have a look at that, I'll link that down below, and we will be going through the pick'ems there, so let me know what you're going to go with this one. But for this one specifically, I am actually going to lean towards the Guerrillas. I'm going to give them at 3-2. Their S&D look pretty decent over the weekend, so let's see if they can continue that. If they do so, I think they should be able to close this out within the 5 total maps. The game of the night, though, on the Monday, very excited for Monday. Toronto Ultra, Atlanta FaZe. Look, everybody will be leaning towards FaZe on this one, and I will be doing the same, but I honestly think that Ultra probably won't look too bad here. Ultra looked pretty good in their game that we did see them in a 3-1 win over Florida, of course, as just mentioned. FaZe, of course, looked sensational, 3-0 against the Guerrillas, and then 3-2 against Chicago. So, I think I am still going to lean towards FaZe. I don't know what map. I was going to say 3-1 just on the base of play, but I actually don't know what map Ultra will win. They looked pretty decent on the hard point for the most part, so maybe we'll give them a hard point, but against FaZe it's going to be very difficult. FaZe just look flawless in search as well, so I'll give Ultra a hard point, maybe even the first one. 3-1, I will go for FaZe in this one. Nice way to kick things off in the week. But let's move on to Tuesday. 3 games on the Tuesday. Legion against Mutineers is going to be a big game, I feel, because these are the 2 teams who are probably going to be sitting at the bottom. For me, Paris showed a little bit of promise. I feel as if, you know, they will probably get better over time, especially with 540 there, of course. We're interested to see how he does, and Scraps was looking pretty decent in that game, if I remember rightly. I'm actually going to go with Paris Legion on this one in a 3-1 fashion, I'm going to say, actually. I just think the Mutineers, things are going to be slow for them at the start. I think they'll get there, though. I think they will get there, but same for Legion, though. I think this is really a toss-up. This will be 3-2 or 3-1 Paris Legion. I'm quite undecided on this one, but let me know what you think about this game. It should be very close, but let's continue to preview what should be a good one with the Subliners taking on the Royal Ravens. Now, I think both these 2 teams, you know, obviously we've seen the Subliners get started off, unfortunately, and of course, on the other side of things, we've seen the Subliners and the Ravens both actually start, unfortunately. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but let's go through their results just to remind ourselves to have a quick look through. So obviously London went up against Seattle and lost that one in a 3-2 fashion, so losing the SDs, which was a little bit unfortunate, and New York were just very closely beat by the Thieves. I would lean towards the Subliners on this one, I think. I think the Royal Ravens will get better over time, especially with Parasite in there. He didn't play too badly, I thought, either. But I think I'll lean towards Subliners. They were very unfortunate to get beat by Thieves, in fairness. And it could have been just completely the other way around. That could have been a 3-0. However, I think in this one, Subliners will close out, and I think they will get it done. Surge against the Rocker will maybe move this on just a little bit. We've got a lot of games to go through. I think Rocker will probably take the... Well, I don't know. I mean, look, Rocker looked really good, obviously beating Dallas. That was very, very important for them. But at the same time, I think Surge actually looked not too bad either, realistically. Obviously, things didn't really kick off too well against Dallas. I think you're going to probably have to lean towards Rocker after that performance going in against Dallas. You've got to lean in that direction. I'm going to go Rocker looking like a 3-1, actually. I think a clean series. Moving on to the next game, and it's going to be the Royal Ravens against Dallas Empire. I think the Dallas Empire take this one 3-0, 3-1. Looking probably far too strong for that London Royal Ravens team, who will, as I said, I think as time goes on, get a little bit better with Parasite. You know, practice in there will make a lot of difference. LA Thieves against Seattle Surge. I'll probably give this one to the Thieves. Of course, I'm going to say probably a 3-1 again. I think that Thieves look relatively decent so far. Obviously, winning over Subliners 3-0 was an important one for them. They get that one done. Ultra against Optic Chicago. Again, I think a lot of this kind of depends on how Ultra's first game goes up against the FaZe side, but I honestly think that Chicago probably closed this one. But saying that, you know, their S&D look fantastic, so this could either be 3-2 to Ultra, or it really could be a 3-1 to Chicago with them just taking all the respawns. I think I'll probably lean towards that one on the Chicago front. But if it does go down that last map, I don't feel too hopeful. Their S&D really did not look good at all. So hopefully they can get that fixed. If they don't, though, Ultra are a team who can punish them. Subliners against the Rocket. This will be a very, very good game. I am going to say... Actually, I don't know. It's a really difficult one. Obviously, a lot of these will like sort of depend on how the results throughout the rest of the week go, because we haven't really had a good chance to go with anything. I'm going to lean towards Subliners on this one, although I don't know. I'm very, very conflicted. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Obviously, whilst you're here, give the video a like to let me know what you think of these two teams in particular. Subliners against Rocket is a very, very difficult one. I'm going to go, in the end, with Rocket. I'll say 3-2 to Rocket on this one. That's what we're going to go with in that game. LA Gorillas against Chicago. Honestly, I think that's probably a 3-0 or 3-1. I would imagine probably 3-1 if Optic haven't fixed their S&D. And then, of course, the marquee matchup. I don't know, which one does it mean? Does it mean the bottom one? Does it mean the one on the top? I presume it's always the last one, isn't it? You can't vote for your feature. Anyway, besides the point. Mutineers against FaZe. I would always go FaZe. I think FaZe look like the strongest team we've seen so far, by some stretch, to a certain degree. I think they look very, very good. So we're going to go with FaZe against Mutineers. I'm going to say a 3-0. Actually, I think they do look that good. London Royal Ravens against LA Thieves. I think Thieves will probably take this one as well. We're going to go with 3-1 there. And of course, as I said, I will link my pick'ems below once I get them in. Paris Legion against the Toronto Ultra should be a decent enough game, but I think Ultra take this one probably in a 3-0 or 3-1 fashion. Legion, I'm looking for a big week out of the Legion in this one. It should be interesting. But Friday, this is a big one. Subliners against Dallas Empire. I think up until this point, who will have Dallas played that week? London. And that is it. Whereas New York will already play 2 games against also London and Minnesota. So we'll have a better barometer of where everybody's at later down the week. I'm going to go for an Empire win. I know, like, a lot of people will be like, oh, storylines for a Clays to win. But realistically, I think that Empire will bounce back from their loss, obviously, towards the beginning of the season up against Rocker. I think they'll win that one. I think Empire will take that one away against Subliners. I'm going to say 3-2. Paris Legion against FaZe. That has to be FaZe. That could be very well a 3-0 all day long. Moving on, not many games to go now. The Royal Ravens against Rocker. I think Rocker take that one. That's probably very much... I'm not feeling great about the Ravens right now. I know as time goes on, they will get better, but at this moment in time, it's just looking a little bit slow for them. LA Gorillas against Toronto Ultra. I do believe... Ooh, who's everybody already? Oh, excuse me. Who's everybody already played that week? So LA have got a pretty hard week, I would say. I'm going to probably go with a 3-2 Ultra. I really like this Ultra squad. I think they could actually go on to do bits as time goes on. This would be their 4th game of the week as well at that point in LA Gorillas. 3rd after playing 2 on the very first opening weekend. Surge against Subliners should be a very, very good one, actually. I'm going to go with the 3-2 the Subline. I honestly think the Subliners are really up there, but Surge, if they're on their day, they're going to look very, very nice, I think. With Gunless just continuously getting better and playing on more frames, obviously that helping as well. I think that is going to be interesting. But I'm going to go 3-2 to Subliners. I think the S&D is quite, relatively strong, I should say. Mutineers against Chicago. You would lean towards Chicago very much in this one. Again, 3-0, 3-1 is kind of the direction I'm going. And of course, the featured marquee matchup. It must be the one underneath the banner. LA Thieves against the Dallas Empire, which should be super nice. By that point, Thieves will have played Seattle, London, and obviously play New York and Minnesota on the opening weekend. I think I'm going to lean towards the Thieves on this one. Just based on the results that we've seen last week, I think it's probably where your smart money would be. But I think as well, I'm actually going to not link my pick'ems right away, because as the week goes on, we'll sort of get a good indication to where the teams are at against each other a little bit more, especially towards the end of the week. And you don't need to put your pick'ems in until I think it's maybe 12 hours before the game starts. So we'll maybe just wait a little bit before we do put them in. But there we go. That's previewing what I think is going to happen this week. Ultimately, I do believe in each group specifically. Let's have a look. I think it'll mostly be Empire and Thieves coming out towards the top 2, with Rocker probably in 3rd. It depends how some of Rocker's games go, because there's a couple of very, very winnable ones there. Surge are very, very close to this one, and I do believe Subliners could be up there. I think it's super hard to call Group A. Group A is much more stacked, in my opinion, in terms of like legitimate just competition, I would say. But going over towards Group B, I think that one's maybe a little bit more top heavy with Chicago and FaZe. After that, I'm seeing Ultra, I'm seeing Gorillas, Mutineers, and Paris Legion may just be falling down the wayside a little bit there. But Group A is much more difficult to sort of work out. So look, I'm just excited for Super Week. I mean, how good is this going to be? Call of Duty every single week. It's like back to the Pro League days of MLG, etc. Very, very excited to see what happens, and we will see what happens on Monday coming. Very, very excited to get into Super Week. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the games. If you disagree with any of my picks or what I'm saying, let me know. Let me know what you think of the picks below. We'll be putting the pick'ems in as we go through the weekend. As said and mentioned on the TikTok, on the EGL TikTok, that's where the pick'ems will be going. Anyway, besides the point, thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoy the whole of Super Week. We'll be seeing you very, very shortly, and we will see you for the next video as well. Catch you then.